All right. Thank you for joining me on the Naked Perception and all that jazz. Let me see what I can get here. I have to go through my little technical stuff before we can actually get started. My big computer was acting a little funny today, so hopefully it's doing a little better. Definitely have to get a new one, so if you know a good computer to buy, please let me know, because I definitely need one. Let's see if this is going to work. Moving slow. So we've got a lot to talk about today. I want to do some good stuff first, and it's not cooperating. There we go. So where am I? I don't see me. I definitely have to get a new computer. I've had some bad weather today. I've been getting messages late on my phone also, so I don't know what's going on around here. I called T-Mobile. They had the nerve to say that the area that I live in is such a congested area that it makes the usage really weak. So I thought that was kind of funny. I said, "Is that slang for your service sucks?" Because they keep asking me to fill out all these little surveys and stuff. So I was just kind of wondering what they meant by that. But so I was trying to fill out the survey. Okay, so this Facebook is not going to work today. And I just kept putting that they suck, because everywhere I go, trying to use T-Mobile, like when I need to use my internet or look up something real quick while I'm driving, or not while I'm driving, but when I'm out, it doesn't work. So I thought, what's the point in even paying all this money every month for something that's not going to work? So for some reason, my Facebook is not working. So I'm going to try to do something real quick because I can't see who's on or who's not at the moment. So I'm going to try this real quick and see if this works. Otherwise, we'll move on and I'll just go blindly into the night. So moving on, I want to congratulate all the graduates of 2021. You guys did an amazing job, and I know this wasn't an easy year considering everything that was happening with COVID, having to do school from home and all the Zoom stuff and not really being able to participate in classes and activities like you're supposed to. So I want to congratulate you on your resilience and your endurance and perseverance to keep on pushing through all the hard times. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes on your senior year, and I'm not sure that all of you were able to get through those things. So, but the most important thing is that you graduated. So, give yourself credit for that. And again, congratulations. Okay, it looks like we might be going to a good place here. So what else? If you're in Pensacola, my older brother, Derek, or I think he goes by Uncle Flip or something of that sort, he has the ice cream shop, the neighborhood ice cream parlor, and that's at 120 Chef's Way in West Pensacola. So if you're in the area or you're just in the mood for some ice cream, go ahead and check them out. I've been down there. The ice cream is really good. My sister makes a lot of the desserts down there, so definitely check that out. It's some good stuff. And I hear rumors. I saw on his page where he's opening up a little coffee shop over in the by the Blue Dot Barbecue. It's called the Neighborhood. So we're gonna have the Neighborhood ice cream parlor and the Neighborhood. I'm not sure what. I was trying to get information today, but my oldest nephew was telling me that it might possibly be a coffee shop, so it might be open. If it's not open, it will be opening soon. So keep your eye out for that. Derek's doing some good stuff, and so we want to definitely support that. And have some ice cream. Ice cream is really good, and my sister makes some really good desserts too. So definitely, if you want to get that going on, you can certainly support that situation. Why is that thing working right today? I don't understand. So try this one more time. Let me make sure my camera's still going. So you're talking. It's kind of rough when you're doing stuff by yourself. I don't know where my boys at today. I kind of did this at the last minute, but I did put up the topic and get it early enough, but I haven't really heard from them much lately, so hopefully all is well with them. So maybe I'll talk to them later on and see what's going on. This is just not working. I don't know what's going on with this today. Let's see what else. Last week we talked about, I got a lot of good feedback from the show from last week when we talked about, I think the topic was when is it the man's turn to cry. We talked about men not having an outlet for their emotions. They can discuss situations, but they rarely talk about the emotions behind it and how they actually feel. And that's becoming a problem because the outlets are still there. They're still reacting on the emotion, but they're not really dealing with the emotion. So we talked about that last week, and I've got a lot of feedback. The guys that sent me feedback were actually agreeing with me, even though it's not something that they can talk about, I guess with their other friends or whatever. But I think that the consensus was that men do need a positive outlook where they're not going to be looked down upon or considered weak because they're actually reacting to stuff. So we definitely want to put that in action. I spoke to someone a couple of weeks ago about trying to open up a place where men can go and have therapy and maybe create an environment that's comfortable for them, but still they can be able to talk about their issues without being ridiculed or being put down. And I think that's what we all want, is to be able to express ourselves and be heard. We all have a voice. We all have feelings regardless of how we try to hide or to cover it up or pretend like it's not there. But we have those things and they need to be addressed. And when we don't have the proper outlet, they have a tendency to come out in other ways. Mental health is a big, huge umbrella term, and I don't think people quite get it, because we all have mental health issues, and you've heard me say that a lot. It really depends on how we deal with stuff, the degree, how far we go with it. If you're able to get angry and use a coping skill, take some deep breaths, and move on without hurting someone or hurting yourself, you're doing good. But if you're throwing chairs through a window or harming yourself or trying to harm other people because you're angry, then it's a problem. Just because we're healthy mentally, for the most part, does not mean that we don't feel things. It doesn't mean we're not going to get depressed. It doesn't mean we're not going to get angry. It doesn't mean we're not going to get anxious. It does mean that we have to learn to deal with those emotions in a positive manner, a less destructive manner. And if we're not doing that, if you're not doing that, then it's an issue. And you should know that it's an issue. And please don't wait for someone to have to tell you that it's an issue. Oh, it looks like we're up. And the other thing is, don't be in denial about stuff. If someone's telling you something's going on, before you just reject it altogether, take a good look at the issue and the situation. Think about what they're saying. Is it true? Are you doing those things? And if you're doing it, deal with it. Handle the situation. But being in denial does not help. Being in denial means the situation is not going to go away and it's going to get worse. And sometimes when it gets worse, there's not a lot you can do about it. Sometimes it's too late. We fall so far down the rabbit hole that we have a hard time getting up again. And that's not something that we want to deal with. We want to be happy mentally. We want to be healthy mentally. And healthy mentally doesn't mean we're going to be happy all the time. It doesn't mean that we're going to be any one thing all the time. It means that we're human, we're going to feel emotions, and we're going to handle them in an appropriate manner. That's what we want. I saw some posts today about, I was asked some questions about, and everybody knows how I feel about the LGBTQ and all those letters run together. I have no issue with it, but just to let you know, we don't hang around in packs. You know, the way they talk about it on television and different things, and this being Gay Pride Month, they make it seem like we all hang around in these packs and we just travel around from place to place and we may or may not end up on your block. That's not how it works. In fact, a lot of the people thrown together in that community don't know anything about each other. We know bits and pieces, but as far as, like, I don't know anything about transgender people or, you know, some of those letters, I don't even know what they mean. But, you know, you want to make a community out of the situation, I get it. But, you know, at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be treated equally. So you don't have to turn everything into a community. You don't have to continue to separate people from society and put them in these little boxes on a shelf. We just want to be treated equally. Everybody wants equal rights. So you don't have to go through all that extra stuff. Just treat people the same. And then we're off to a good start. I saw something today, someone posted something about non-binary pronouns that you use. And of course, when someone identifies as a particular sex, you want to use the pronoun that they identify with, because that's just how it is. But I want to get something straight. If someone identifies as a girl and you call them a boy, or they identify as a boy and you call them a girl, that does not make them suicidal. That does not make them hurt themselves. It doesn't do anything. It might be uncomfortable, they may correct you, but that does not make them suicidal. Those feelings have to already be there. You have to already have that capacity within you, that mindset, in order for something to trigger that. You thinking that you're a girl and someone calling you a dude, that's not going to make you jump off a building or go, you know, take your life. You have to have that illness already, that mental illness already within you. So check that. If you know somebody in that situation and you think that's the reason why, that's probably not the reason why. There's probably some other things going on. It's just like someone, like you break up with somebody and all of a sudden they harm themselves. 9 times out of 10, people don't just harm themselves because of a breakup. You have to have that within you already, probably triggered by other stuff, and that's just something that moves you further into that direction. So all those things, they pre-exist within the person already, you know. So we want to look at those things and make sure that if you know someone in that situation, that you're able to identify and talk to them about it before, you know, things get too far. Ooh, smoking today, huh? I'm wearing my Hot Black Guy t-shirt for when the show was called The Blunt Truth. You know, we're the Naked Perception now, but like my little shirt. It's pretty cool. We all have them, so hopefully we'll get together and be able to wear them together on the show again. But I think that I put up that I wanted to talk to the pretty people, and or people that society considers pretty. And the reason why is not because I think anybody's better than anybody else, but I was talking to someone recently, and he had some issues going on, and literally, he looked like Brad Pitt from the '90s. I mean, like he just jumped out of Interview with a Vampire, and I was so intrigued by his look. He had the long hair and everything. Really nice looking guy, really nice guy. And I started thinking that I know he has other things going on, but the only thing that I'm really focused on is how he looks, because he was actually really pretty. You know, Brad Pitt was really pretty in The Vampire, if you've seen it. You know, and that's what he reminded me of. And we started talking more, and I started thinking about how many times do people in that situation get overlooked because people think that they're so good looking, and they're so good looking that they shouldn't have any problems. You know, I hear people say that all the time. Especially, I have a lot of I'm a nice looking guy myself, and have a lot of nice looking friends, and you know, the ones that are kind of stereotypically high up on the totem pole as far as prettiness goes. You know, people expect them to act a certain way or be a certain way. They're not allowed to be quiet or off to themselves because they might be considered stuck up or snotty. They can't just be shy. You know, there's a lot of stuff that society puts on other people that they don't even ask for. They're treated differently. I've seen situations where, you know, people that's, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So when someone thinks you're exceptionally pretty or beautiful, they treat you differently. They may not even be listening to what you're saying. You could have some real issues going on, and in their head they're thinking, you know, well, you're just so pretty. What could you possibly have to deal with? We all have real feelings. We all have real situations, regardless of what you may or not think. You may think the person looks like or doesn't look like. Everybody has real feelings that they have to deal with, and whether they do it in front of you or go home and do it in their own privacy, they're still having to work on those feelings, how they feel about certain situations. And, you know, again, pretending like it's not happening only makes things worse. You know, so, there's a lot going on my screen today. But yeah, it's important because we don't want people to get overlooked because people look at, we don't want you to get overlooked because people are looking at you and thinking you have the great job, you have the great family, you have just everything going on, you have everything that they might want, and so they minimize the problems that you have, and that's not okay. Everybody has a voice. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be treated with kindness, and I think that's something we need to practice doing. We have all these different podcasts and TikTok, and everybody's trying to give out these messages. And the one thing that I think we all have in common is that we want to be treated better. Everyone wants to be treated better. Everyone wants to be treated with kindness. And all the nastiness, it just needs to stop. You know, we've been through so much in 21 and 20 and, you know, continue on through this year. We don't know when it's going to end. So the least that we can do as people is treat each other with kindness. And there's so much going on. People are being shot left and right. There's still all this injustice in the world. If you have any control over your situation, you don't want to add to the injustice. You don't want to add to the problems. You don't want any of that stuff to happen. So we definitely really want to be mindful of what we're doing and how we're affecting other people, because it's important. We want to be aware of other people's feelings. You know, we don't want to be the planet of one person. There's other people that we have to interact with, and we want to make sure that we're doing the best we can. I want to be heard. You want to be heard. So when we're having a conversation, we're not fighting for dominance. We're not saying who's the most right. I'm listening to you, you're listening to me, and maybe we can help each other out. That's how that works. You know, so the next time you're having a conversation with somebody, think about your role. What are you trying to accomplish in that conversation? Are you a friend listening? Are they a friend and they're listening too? And at the end of the conversation, you're giving each other advice? Or maybe just give each other a hug. Maybe that's all you can do. Because you don't have to have the answer, but as a friend, you should be willing to listen. And you should be willing to listen in a way and not turn it so it's all about you. I have a couple of friends that do that because just because I'm in the mental health field, I think they feel like I don't really have any issues, and everybody that knows me knows there's just a ton of shit floating around in my head. But every time I talk to these people, and I just don't put myself in that position anymore, because every time I talk to them, they make it all about them. They start talking about them themselves, and then when I talk about me, you can hear that energy change where they're not really listening anymore because it's not about them. You ever been in that situation? I know you have. So I keep tabs on that. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that they're interested in themselves. So I'm not going to put myself in a position where my feelings may or may not get hurt, or I might get a little angry with them because they're half listening. Those things we just don't want. We don't do that anymore. 2021, keep your plate light. Keep your plate light. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Keep your plate light. You cannot be the sole caretaker of the universe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your household first. And once you've accomplished that, then you go on to the next stage, and maybe you can help other people out. But you can't help anyone if you're not in a position to take care of yourself. You can't give anyone... It's hard to take advice from someone that doesn't already have it together. And you can share stories and discuss situations and maybe work some things out together, but don't just completely sacrifice everything that you have. Don't sacrifice your last little bit of energy trying to help somebody out and make your situation worse. These are very selfish times. We want to treat everybody with kindness, but we also want that whole self-preservation thing. It's really, really important. So the whole point in this today was I wanted to kind of put a spotlight on those people that, we think have it all together. Those people that we think, are just so beautiful and has everything easily handed to them. And they just don't seem to have any issues. And they do. They do. It may not be weight. That's one of my issues. I struggle with that all the time. It may not be financial. It may not be anything. It might be, but it's probably something. Everything looks good when you're looking from the outside in, but when you open their door, if they actually allow you to open their door, things change a little bit. You actually get to know what's really going on. I don't know how to get the ball rolling as far as giving everyone a voice, but I want you to know I'm not always right. And I say that with 100% certainty. I'm not always right, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm always right. I will advise you and give you advice to the best of my ability. You may agree or not, or disagree, and that's okay. Because I don't have to be right. The effort that I'm making is to give information, and hopefully you can use it in a way that benefits you, or not. Or maybe it's something, you'll hear my voice later on if a situation comes up, and it'll help you in that aspect. Those are all good things. But I'm not going to be that person that's going to get on national television every time a situation comes up and tell you that, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to protest, you have to... I don't do all those things because it's just not my place. And I feel like there are people that are not big time media that you should probably listen to more so than some of those clowns that get on there and give you advice. We're real people with real problems, and we have real issues that we have to deal with. And I think one of the things something kind of pissed me off a couple weeks ago. 11 Alive, I think I may have said this last week. 11 Alive was talking about how people were late on their rent or not paying their rent, and the stimulus money was running out, and so many people are behind on their rent. And then they said, in the next breath, 20% of the people that are behind on their rent are black people. And I kept thinking, what the hell difference does it make what color you are if you're late on your rent. I'm not getting that. So I sent them a little email and I text them and inbox them and everything like they say. If you have questions, I've gotten a response. Because it wasn't necessary. I think when you do things like that, I mean, people need statistics for whatever reason, but us as everyday people, we don't need to. I don't need to know that 20% of people that are late paying their rent or not paying their rent are black. I don't need to know that 3,000 Asian people stopped eating Chinese food. Those things don't matter. What matters is how we deal with things every day and treating everybody the same. We keep throwing people in these categories and these boxes, and it doesn't work. If Jamie was here, he'd probably be like, well, statistics, he loves statistics and all that, but I just don't do that. I feel like it's time out for that because when these things happen, to me, it's like that all of a sudden you're not black enough, or you're not white enough, or you're not dealing with things in your own community, and it just all these other extra things start coming up when you start listening to people with these loud voices that get on the media and try to tell you what to do. It just doesn't work that way. So I want things to be better. I want everyone to be treated equally, and I want everyone's voice to be heard. Mental health is such a big deal right now. I know I'm kind of all over the map today, and I just didn't make enough notes, so just bear with me. Mental health is a really big deal. People are very sad. People that smile in your face all the time and give you hugs and walk around like everything's all fabulous all the time, that could very well be an act. Somewhere in that whole production, they might be giving you a sign, hey, I'm not okay. And they might need you. They might need to talk to you. But I try to listen, and I try to be very attentive to my friends and listen for signs and cues. Because, I've lost a couple of people to suicide, and it's not a good feeling. Suicide is a really big deal. And I remember years ago they used to tell you that if someone was suicidal, they'd start giving away their stuff and give you all these little signs that they were gonna take their life. And that's not an inaccurate statement. I mean, it's still true for the most part, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes they just do it, and then it's over. But we just want to make sure that everyone has a voice and everyone is being heard, because those things become really, really important. Men, you need an outlet. You need a way to talk about how you're feeling. Men and women need to learn how to communicate better these days without thinking that one's trying to outdo the other. If you're in a relationship, you're in a partnership, then be that. Be partners. Listen and love each other. I hear you, you hear me. And we come up with some kind of happy medium in the middle. If you love someone, they're not putting you down. I'm not going to say I love you and then call you a bunch of names and cuss you out. That's not love. Those things don't work. We should be able to argue and even disagree without resorting to name calling, without resorting to demeaning conversation. And we don't want that to happen. We want the people that we love to feel loved and be loved all the time. And then because I love you does not mean I'm always going to agree with what you say or do what you say. But it does mean that I'm going to respect you and we're going to have a conversation without all the extra. And if that can't happen, then I'm in the wrong place. So, I don't know, there's a lot going on. So I'm on TikTok now. So after I do these shows, I load them up to YouTube, and then I load it to TikTok, and a good friend of mine put me on that. And I just want to get the message out there, because I think I've been seeing within my own circle, I mean, I have like a circle, then I have a subset. So, I mean, I have different layers, and I'm noticing that in the different layers of my circles, or different, what's the word? Different sets of my circles and subsets and all that jazz. That, every now and then I run into someone that's just not happy. I run into someone that not only are they not happy, they're not telling people they're not happy. And the past 3 weeks alone, I've run into 3 of my friends that are not happy. And there could be more. You know, and you wonder, you know, I try not to take on situations personally so it doesn't personally affect me, but I do like to come up with ways to try to help people work through their issues and give them information that might help them get to a brighter light for the other side of the situation. But if you don't talk to people, you don't know. If you're thinking about someone a lot, maybe you should pick up the phone and call them or send them a text. That could be what they need. You know, just check on each other and love each other and care about each other and do all those things. And it may just be that you cannot help the person, that they're so far gone that you cannot help them, or you don't know what to say to help them. But it doesn't mean you can't be there. You can't be that shoulder. You can't be that soundboard. Let them vent. You know, I tell my friends all the time, you can call me. I may not have the answer, but you can call and vent to me anytime that you need to. If it's convenient, I'll answer the phone. If it's not, I'll call you back. That's how things work. Mental health is... it's difficult. I think I'm pretty healthy mentally. I deal with things as they come. I try not to harbor emotions and situations. You know, but a lot of people can't do that. People want things to go perfectly. People want things to go in a particular direction, and when that doesn't happen, they get upset about it. And sometimes they don't handle it too well. But I don't want any of us discounting anyone's feelings because in our head we think that they have it together. In our head we think that they're so privileged and gorgeous and rich that they don't have any issues. We have to erase that whole mindset. You know, that whole starry-eyed thing that we have when we look at certain people, or, you know, we know what certain people, how their life has been. It doesn't mean that they don't have issues. It doesn't mean that they don't need a hug every now and then. They need to be taken seriously, just like anyone else. I remember watching some interviews a while ago with like Janet Jackson and Halle Berry and a couple other really gorgeous women in the stars, in the celebrity lifestyle. And they were saying how difficult it is to actually date because people think that they're so pretty and they're scared to come up and talk to them. I can see that, but I see it in a different angle because, yes, they're pretty, yes, they're gorgeous, and maybe people are intimidated by them, by their looks, is one thing. But also, as like I was saying, those same people, if they had severe issues, you know, it'd be hard for some people to look at them the way they look and with their life and everything that they have and take them serious when they have a serious problem. I remember once when Janet Jackson passed out from exhaustion, and I heard a lot of comedians make fun about it. One said she was having so many concerts, she passed out from exhaustion. And then she's like, if I'm exhausted, I take a nap. And it sounds so simple to say, but it's not that simple. Because you're pushing yourself and you're pushing yourself, and not just her and her concert. It could be your friend that's working too much, or your friend's mom that has so many kids, or so much responsibility at home that she doesn't have time to sleep. I remember I kept my nephews, Travis and Malik, when they were little. I think Travis was probably 4 and Malik was 5, and Malik was a baby. And every time I went to sleep, he would cry. When I was awake, he would go to sleep. Every time I went to sleep, he would cry. This was for 2 days. By the time my brother came home, I was completely exhausted. Had no sleep at all. So I can't imagine how moms do when they have to deal with those situations every day. Like a baby, you have a baby that's not crying and not going to sleep, and you have to be up with them. It takes a toll on you. There are things that we go through in our daily lives that can cause mental issues. It doesn't mean that we're all need to be on Prozac, but it means that we all have things that we have to deal with. And if you're not sleeping for days at a time because you're taking care of things, that's a problem, because we need sleep. Your mind's not going to work properly if your body's not rested. That's just not going to happen. So we have to really think about what's going on in our lives. What do we change? What do we need to slow down from? And she was right. Yeah, if you're tired, if you're exhausted, you take a nap. If you can, but maybe you can't. So we have to look at our lives and figure out what's going on. What do we need to change to make it a little more peaceful? What interactions do we need to change to make things a little more calm? Because we don't want chaos all the time. We don't want to just continue to go through the same things every day, and our situations and our feelings just get worse. It's time for us to stop and take an honest look at what's really going on in our lives. What do I really need to say to you? What do you really need to say to me? What needs to be done to make things better, to make me happier mentally and physically? Conversations need to be had. People need to start being honest with each other and listening to each other more and paying attention, because it's important. I'm not seeing any comments at all. I think I may have just messed something up. So yeah, we need to start having these conversations and figure out what's going on. I've been in mental health for 20 years or so, and I've seen all kinds of things happen. I've seen all kinds of denial. I've seen people coming pretending. I've seen all kinds of things. But if you come into a mental health hospital pretending that you have mental problems, you have mental problems. That's an issue. Just because people aren't. This thing is killing me. So, yeah, we just want to pay attention to each other and be there for each other, and think about your needs. Think about what you need to do in 2021 to keep your plate light. My internet is acting crazy right now, so I don't know what's going on. So if you've made comments on the page, I promise you I will answer them. My computer does suck. It looks like it's kind of new and modern, but I will tell you it has THX down at the bottom for the sound. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, that we even use THX sound anymore. I think that was something that came out earlier, before 2010, when the big theaters started coming out and they had the great sound. I think things have gotten a lot better since then. So, anyhow, we definitely want to take. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Take care of each other and start listening. It's important. Even when you're at work, you might see someone that is having a hard time, and instead of making fun of them or talking about them behind their back, go say something kind. Kind words go really far. They just do. A kind word can go a long ways, especially if someone's having a bad day. It makes a big difference. I had a lady yesterday, one of the nurses at work, she passed out these little cards to everybody, and it actually made me feel really good. I was tired. It wasn't a bad day. We were having a really good day, and I saw the card that she left, and I just thought that was really sweet. That hardly ever happens. People just don't leave cards of encouragement telling you, that you're inspiring, or that you're doing a great job, or just randomly like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So kind words do go a long way. Kind words can make a big difference. And getting to know different kinds of people so that you're able to communicate with all kinds of people goes a long way also. I mean, this is America. We have all kinds of people in America. That's why it's America. So sticking with just a small group does not help you expand your mind. It doesn't help you interact with all kinds of people. It doesn't give you that extra spunk to get out there and do something different. Did I miss anything? We're all in the same boat. If you think someone's pretty, if you think someone's not attractive, whatever you think about people, at the end of the day, we're still people, and we need to treat each other with respect. We need to treat each other with kindness. And, because like I've said, and you've heard me say this before, the first thing you say to somebody could be the last thing they need to hear before they snap. And you don't want them snapping on you. You don't want them snapping on anybody else. We want to treat people with kindness. We want to be better people. If anything, if this COVID virus has, if it's shown us anything, it's taught us how to face things. You have to face each other. You couldn't hide because you're right in each other's face. Moms and dads, husbands and wives, their children, everybody's home, has been home for a while, and you discover sides of people that you didn't know existed. Your tolerance level had changed. You have your hours away from people. That's your time, whether you're at work or whatever, but you're away from that situation. And when that's taken away from you, then all of you guys are thrown together for long, extended periods at a time, and that can be trying. So we definitely want to we just want to be better. We want to treat people better. We want to treat ourselves better. We want to take care of ourselves. Take care of the ones that you love. And remember, there's no such thing as I love you but. So make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover, and I think that I did. Again, Pensacola, check out the neighborhood ice cream parlor. It's down in West Pensacola on Chef's Way. I think it's down towards the base in that area. So, questions or comments, send them to me anytime. I'm going to be uploading this. Actually, I'm going to review it first and make sure it's something I want to upload, because I feel like I was all over the map today. But if I like what I see, I'm going to upload it to YouTube. Otherwise, try to get Jamie and Nathan on next week and do something real. I mean, not that this isn't real, but do something big. I miss my boys. So I'm going to be talking to them hopefully after the show and find out, what's going on, so we can get back on the same page and get some things going. Again, you can watch it on Spread the Word. It's on YouTube. It's now on TikTok. Of course, there's Facebook. There's IGTV. I've been uploading stuff all over the place, so, people have been commenting. I'm getting lots of inboxes and questions and topics and all kinds of stuff. So I think the most questions I got is about the whole LGBTQ thing, and I think people agree. We don't run around in packs. We don't all know each other. We all love each other. We don't all know each other. So please keep that in mind. I don't want to be that, I don't want to be that gay person that you know that can answer all the questions about the rest of the rainbow, because I just don't have the answer. And that's all I'm going to tell you. So thank you for joining me, and I'm going to try to keep it around 45 minutes to an hour these days. If you have something you want me to promote, please inbox me. I can't, word of mouth is everything, and the most that I can give you is some great comments about whatever you're doing for free. I'm not charging you anything. This is just, hey, this person's doing this person's doing that. Let's promote, let's help each other out. That's part of it. Why don't people want to help each other anymore? I can't tell you how many people I've run into who say, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, and then when it comes down to it, they're ghosts. They don't answer the phone, they stop texting. If you can't do something, don't say you can do it. If you can't help, don't say you can help. If you don't really want to help, miss me with the conversation, because I'm not asking you for anything. So don't step to me unless you can actually stand by your word. It is that simple. I'm not going to come to you and say, yes, I can do this, this, and this, and then do nothing. It doesn't work that way. Please give me the same courtesy. That's how it is. The land of, well, we're not going to go down that road today. But next week, hopefully it'll be me, Jamie, and Nathan, and we'll be back, doing some good stuff, talking about some good things. This is actually just me kind of practicing, trying to get the time frame, the topics down. So if I review the show and I like it, I'm going to post it. If not, if you got a chance to see it, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. It's all good. Anyhow, on the Naked Perception, we love you, and we'll be back with you next week. In the meantime, keep your plates light. Inbox me with any questions. Inbox me and tell me to shut the hell up. Inbox me with anything, because I'm an open book. We're down for it. Anyhow, let's get on it. We love you. The Naked Perception. We're out of here.